sectors. This morning, we're blessed to have Pastor Brian Amoateng with us. He's here to talk about IES 2025, and I love the synergy. I love the fact that we did this last year. We love to follow up, okay? So we don't just start things and then leave it there. He's back this morning to pretty much break down what's going to go on this year's, summit, what people should expect. Of course, get the opportunity to ask him one or two questions. Last time when we met, it was on stage, Pastor, and so some of the questions I had to, keep out. But today you're right here with me in the studio. Good to have you on YFM. Welcome and thanks for honoring our invitation.
Thank you so much, YFM. Thank you.
Bless. You're looking good as always.
Thank you.
Do you have, I always wanted to ask you, did you have like a set designer for you when it comes to your outfits?
I think I just go by the day.
Ah.
Yes, but I have most of the stuff that I wear.
Okay.
It's a young guy called Fino.
Okay.
He does most of the stuff that I wear now.
How many hours or days does it take you to think about what to wear when you have a project? Because, no, honestly, you don't play when it comes to what you wear. You're always on point. You look good. Is it a particular thing you focus on, or you have a stylist who handles that?
No. I think I would say I'm a deep planner.
Okay.
So I plan a day ahead. So if I have to go out tomorrow, I know what I'm going to wear. I know where I'm going, so I just plan.
You just plan. Back in the days, when you have an event or you have a special moment coming up, 3 days, 4 days, you iron your shirt up, put down.
That's right.
You lay the shoe down. Anytime you come inside, you come and look at the outfit, you picture it before you even get in. Anyways, let me first and foremost say this. Last year was a beautiful event.
We thank God.
I enjoyed the blend of, spiritual life to real life. We as Christians, we can go beyond the spirit because we're humans. We have this body.
Yeah.
And this body has work. This body has neighbors. This body has an environment to take care of. I love the fact that the speaker spoke pretty much about everything. There were people who talked about environment, the ones who talked about political aspirations, business. My favorite one was Honorable Obi Dako's speech and her time. It was real time. I could relate to a lot of the things in there. It moves me to ask the question again. I think I touched on it last year.
Yeah.
What informs the caliber of people you pick? I know you know a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's so many people doing well, so many people to look up to. But then before Pastor Brian Amoateng sits to say, I'm going to pick 12 people. In this case, how many? 3, 5, 10 speakers.
Yeah.
How do you select them?
Okay. Thank you so much. And I think a lot of people are asking me this question. And being a pastor, a lot of people were thinking that I was going to go only the spiritual aspect, but that was not the mandate that God gave me. So I believe that it's an assignment, and my assignment is not to only raise pastors. All right. So with the IS platform, we intentionally decided to focus not on the spiritual well-being of the young Ghanaian, but of course the social, the entrepreneur, the business side, the relationship side. So because I would term it as a holistic approach. So not just focusing on the spirit being of the individual, but also what we can use to feed the mind of the person. So because of that, we sit down and choose industry players, game changers that have excelled in their field. So we will talk about politics, we talk about entertainment, we talk about business, we talk about church, and you name it. So, and I would say that number one, prayerfully, I intentional. Okay, so being intentional. 2019, I brought Sako there. So a whole lot of people had an issue with me that, okay, why is it that the pastor you are bringing Obedi and all that? But I just thought that he has been a game changer. He has put Ghana on the global stage.
Map,
So if I'm choosing someone to impact the young people, and you have no idea the number of people that were blessed by the little speech that he gave. So I would say I prayerfully choose the speakers. I intentionally choose the speakers. So that I think that is what pushes me to choose all these caliber of people.
Do you get friends who are on the same pedestal saying, "Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to invite me"? Do people get mad at you for not putting them out?
I would say anyway. I don't want to get in trouble here. I would say I haven't experienced it yet.
Okay.
But sometimes some people will place a comment and they will talk to me. So right now, we're just having a chat with a politician right now, and he said, "Hey, Prof, as for next year, I'm on." So he won't directly say that. Why did you put this politician in that? Yeah, so I haven't really gotten that vibe yet.
When you finish IES the project, what do you get on? How what do you get back to? You get back to the ministry, you get back to the church and go back to preaching, or you have other activities you do?
Okay, so I'm the senior pastor of Mercy Life Churches. It's a church in over 30 locations. We have churches in London. We have 5 branches in London.
That's nice.
United States, Belgium, in Ghana. We have over 10 branches here in Techiman, Brekum, everywhere. Yeah, so IS is it's just an aspect of my assignment and my calling. But IS is just like the 3-day summit is just, I would say, 1/4 of what we do. After the event, we have a whole year that we follow up on the people that come. We give scholarships to people.
That's true.
So I would say that IS is a whole year event, but just the summit is just 3 days.
3 days.
Yes.
And
so
you're back to ministry
and
over 30 locations around the world.
That is it.
Do you ever get time to rest?
I decided to have a change of lifestyle recently from last year.
Okay.
And I realized that if you want to live long, you have to prioritize rest. I felt that if you rest, you are lazy. Initially, but that was not the case. I moved from London to the United States. I relocated to US last year. The Lord gave us a 1,000-seat auditorium that we purchased for our church.
Massive.
And I spent 6 months without traveling. I went through a lot of stress. So I was there. My doctor told me that, hey, Pastor Brian, if you want to live long to enjoy the fruit of your labor, you have to rest. And it's something that this year I'm going to highlight on. A lot of young people are not taking care of their health. But I realized that if you can take care of your health in your 20s, your health will take care of you in your 50s.
That's beautiful. I think there's a lot of pressure from, people who are far ahead. We've constantly heard quotes like, only lazy men rest.
That's it.
You can't rest when you are in your 20s. But then you go to the hospitals and then these guys are suffering kidney failure, renal failure, heart failure. It's now a thing of the day. And so we need people like you to constantly hammer the need for us to rest. Pastor, let's break down this year's, summit. What's going to happen on day 1. Let's speak about the speakers already. I'm seeing Dr. Franco Usuapia, who was a speaker last year. I enjoyed his speech.
That's right.
A generational thinker. I'm seeing my wife's pastor, Dr. Michael Boedi Nyamiche on there. Apostle Joshua Selman.
Yes.
Why? I think I want to ask you that.
A whole lot of people are asking me.
Why?
And I think this year has been ordained by God. I met Apostle Selman 4 years ago at his residence in Abuja, and I presented the vision of IS, and he said, okay, he has heard about what I do, and he would gladly want to come in God's own time. And I met him again in his house 2022, and I presented IS. It never happened, so I stopped. So I believe he coming to Ghana again for IS is God's timing, because I was there and I got a message from his office that Apostle would like to honor your invitation. So I just thought I was dreaming. So I called one of his best friends, Dr. Stanley,
just to confirm.
and I said that this is what Apostle is saying. I don't know whether it's a scam or something. And he said, yeah, Apostle wants to come. Yes.
Lovely. So that's 3. Dr. Frank Ofusuapia is his family already. He's also coming from the US.
Yeah, so Dr. Frank Ofusuapia is my spiritual
Your
father.
spiritual father.
Yes, that has been an amazing man, a man full of wisdom.
Lovely. Apostle Joseph Solomon, like we mentioned.
Yes.
Dr. Michael Boedi Nyamiche, powerful man.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And Prophet Gideon Danso.
That's right.
No, this year is going to be a packed one. Trust me.
That's right.
I know, and this is the thing. I love the fact that my generation is approaching Christianity and building faith in God in a different direction.
That's
I'm speaking about Prophet Gideon Danso when I say this. This man's ministry is welcoming urban Christianity on a different level.
Yep.
And so if you know this man and you want to see him, you want to sit with him, please come through for IS. It's confirmed Prophet Gideon Danso will be present as well. Dr. Joseph Siao Ejapong is the CEO of He's a group head for
Zoom
Lion.
That's right.
Hey, this man never goes to, I don't
I know, right?
you know what I'm saying. I mean, at some point, we had him booked for Leaderboard Series. He's so busy.
That's true.
Dr. Kujoji had to sit in for him. How did you manage to get, Dr. Siao, to speak? And I think people don't know this part of him. He's an apostle as well.
Apostle, that's
yes.
right.
How did you grab him, to be a part of this? What's the story behind this?
I've been chasing him since 2019.
So that's 5 years.
Yes.
Technically 6.
6
Wow.
years. I've been chasing him since 2019. He's super busy, but I believe in God's timing, and I don't give up too early. No,
You kept pushing.
I kept pushing, and he said he had been following IS for over the years, knows all the speakers that have been there. So I just approached him this year. I said, "Hey, dog, this is the right time for you to come." He said, "No problem.
He's gonna come." So that's also confirmed. Dr. Kwejo Bempa is one of my favorites as well. When I was in university, I never missed this man's preachings, man. Very sharp man. He's an action man. So he's also showing up. And then your brother.
That's right.
I don't know if I've followed IS enough, but has he spoken on the platform in the past?
Yes, like Prophet Anna has been speaking every year. Every year. Yes,
Perfect.
yes,
So he's showing up this year. He's a part of the list. And then one of my favorite women in the, financial sector, Abna Brigidi is also showing up.
That's right. That's right.
To be honest, I've seen her on interviews. I mean, I think the first major one she honored was actually a long one. She sat here for about 3 hours, shared her life story with us, her transition from fintech into even football, interest in all that. Yep. This is the first time I've seen her on a show like this. What should we expect from her? She's spoken to you definitely. What angle is she also going to go? Or you want us to show up and listen?
So, okay, I would want, I put Abna on for every young woman to come and listen to her story. Of course, this was news in Ghana. She lost her husband, but never gave up. And whatever legacy that her husband left, she has taken it to another level. And it takes an intelligent woman to do that. So I want every young woman to come and listen to this.
Great. And there's one of the biggest, figures when it comes to politics. Now, this woman, if you don't know her track record, she's been with the U.S. government, knows Obama, Trump.
That's right.
Mrs. Beatrice Jones-Mensah Tayo is also one of our speakers. What informed your decision to bring her aboard as well?
Mrs. Beatrice has been a very good friend. I tell her I'm her personal prophet.
Lovely.
And she's too intelligent. So I'm telling you, we can speak for over 2 hours. And I'll be drinking from the wells of wisdom. And she's one of the leading figures in the oil industry.
Yes.
Like, she's put Ghana on the global stage. So I reached out, I said, hey, you got to speak this year. She was just saying, I don't want to come. I said, you have to come. So I just think that this year I want to spend more time investing in the young female people in Ghana. That's why I had to choose these wonderful women.
Lovely. And the final speaker is Dr. Omane Boama, one of the most learned politicians in Ghana. He's also coming through to share his knowledge on things. Very smart man if you know him, It's going to be a while. But Prof, let me ask you at this point, what's the theme for this year? You've told us the goals, what you're looking at achieving. You've introduced our very wonderful speakers. We're going to get into the dates and the specific dates, what's going to happen. But then what's the theme behind this year's IS?
The theme is influence. Yes. I chose the theme influence because I realized that a lot of young people, they want to be popular, but they don't want to be influential. But being influential supersedes everything, that you can exert an impact, a positive impact on something or someone. So we just don't have to have a particular group of people being influencers. You can influence your family. It can be a family of 3, a family of 5. You can influence your school. You can be a student and still be influential. So I just believe that this year is for every young Ghanaian
and its influence. That's the theme for this year's event. Last year, I realized you didn't just do tertiary students.
Yes.
There were a session of senior high school students
Yes.
also invited.
Yeah.
Are we seeing them this year too?
Yes.
Then it moves me to my next question.
Yeah.
Is the UPS auditorium big enough to contain us? So we're going to have an overflow this year.
Oh yes, definitely. We are going to have an overflow because, of course, last year, I think from 2021 when we moved from the National Theatre to the UPSA auditorium, it's been packed all the day. So I'm just hoping and believing God that we can move to the stadium.
Great.
In the years to come.
Pastor, people are of the opinion, and I think last year when I posted the event on my social media, a lot of people were asking how much they pay to attend IS.
Yes.
Please, is it free to attend?
It's very, very free. So I just got to do this video and send to someone. So one of my team called me today and said that a lot of people have been calling.
Yes.
And they've been asking that how much should they pay. So I want to state it right here that it's free. So if someone is asking you to pay for a ticket or something, it's free. It's been free since day one, though it's expensive.
It looks expensive.
Very expensive. So please, it's free. Just come.
Just make sure you come through. And one other thing I realized, so a lot of the questions I'm asking are based on my experience last year.
That's right.
There's entertainment in there, there's worship sessions, and there's the almighty youth all night.
All night, that's it.
Which of the days is that, and which ministers are ministering? Who's going to speak? Are you speaking? Are you ministering? Someone also asked 2 questions in one.
Yes.
Are you going to have a prophetic ministration session this year? Please.
Okay,
Please.
So of course, those of you that have been coming for IS, every Friday night, I start with a prophetic session. So from 2021, if I'm right, the Lord laid on my heart to start the first of its kind, the National Youth All Night, which is a non-denominational that every church, Presbyterians, charismatic churches, because everyone can show up. And this year is happening on the 14th, that is the last day. And it starts at 7 p.m. sharp through to 5 a.m. And we have Apostle Joshua Selman speaking at the all night. So please, you know it. Anytime Apostle Selman comes to town, you know it. By 2 p.m., the whole place is going to be packed. So the National Youth All Night. So the National Youth All Night is coming on this year with myself, Prophet Daniel, and Apostle Joshua Selman. And we have a great lineup of worship ministers. Joe Metal, MOG, Team Eternity, Sisi Beidou, you name it.
Team Eternity, man. The wildest. All right, so guys, you're welcome. Just be a part of this. Pastor has confirmed it's absolutely free, and I'm going to go over the dates. It's from the 12th, that's Wednesday, all the way to Friday. So there's day 1, day 2, day 3. Yeah. And then, of course, there's the morning sessions, which are 9 a.m.
9 a.m. to 1.
Yeah, to 1. And then we break, and we have the evening sessions from 5 p.m. upwards. The Almighty Youth All Night is on the Friday, the final day, 14th of March 2025. And the venue, once again, is the UPSA Auditorium at UPSA campus, okay? I'm sure we're streaming live online as well.
So live on Pastor Brian Amoateng, my Facebook handle, and you go to YouTube, Brian Amoateng TV, straight up.
Lovely. Pastor, what is your vision when it comes to youth empowerment, youth development beyond IS in Ghana? How would you feel when we get to a point where other pastors start emulating this? Start doing similar shows? Okay,
so when I started, a lot of pastors started the same thing. Some even, mine is International Youth Empowerment Summit. Some did National Youth Empowerment Summit. But I think I chose to be in my lane because that was my assignment that God gave me. So you can copy, you can do whatever thing that you want to do, but you can't have my blueprint. And I think I have a blueprint of what I represent. They started theirs 2 years and it's gone, but this year is going to be 11th year. So my main goal for youth empowerment is, which I think we've started seeing it, there should be a time in this country that you can go to institutions, both private and public, and you would see a 30-year-old person.
A CEO.
A CEO.
And it's happening.
And it's happening. not even 30, 25 game changers. Go to China and see. By 19, they are industry game changers. So everything that I'm doing, I just tell people that impact comes over time, not overnight. So it might not make sense what I'm doing now, but give us 20 years. I always tell people, give time some time. So one politician, and I'm going to say it here, came for IS 2015, the time that we started. He said, which I don't even remember, I finished preaching and I called him. I was on a tie. In those days, I used to wear ties. And I gave him the tie and I said, you will be a leading figure in the politics of Ghana. 11 years ago, he was a student at UPSA. Aimless, didn't know what to do. But he said that word triggered something in him, and he had been coming for IS every year. And now he's a member of parliament for K2, Honorable Edem Abana.
Edem is my guy.
Perfect. So at that time, it wouldn't make sense. But he traces everything that when I came for IS, that was how the change started. So I'm just hoping that the time is going to come that the young people are going to take over this nation.
Lovely. We're moving into nations, other nations, because I think last year I did see a flyer for IS USA.
USA. So
this year we haven't.
All right. So we had IS in UK and we've had it in USA 3 times. This year will be the 4th time, July 7th. My main goal is from next year trying to figure out like 3 other African countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Nigeria.
Let's go to Nigeria.
Hi.
We are going.
We're going.
Please start preparing my leave form. We're going. Okay, we're going to Nigeria. We're going to make it happen, and I pledge my support as always.
Thank you so much.
To make it possible. Prophet, so you are a man of God. You definitely don't sleep on the tides of gratitude. I know you want to say thank you to people who have been supportive. Are there any special figures, brands, companies you'd like to say thank you to? And I realized this year it's supported by the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment.
That's right.
How did that come about under the auspices of Honorable Pablo? Yes, and the team. How did it come about?
All right. So I would like to say this. Let me just check it. So, IS has been, I would say, so I would say that you came there last year. It's super expensive to organize such an event.
It's not easy.
And guess what we are doing this year again? After the morning session, we are feeding everybody.
Wow.
Yes.
Listen, when he says everybody, it's in the tens of thousands. I mean,
yes.
Wow. Everyone. And this is 3 days.
3 days. We are feeding everybody. It's very costly. So, of course, I want to say a big thank you to my good friend, the Honorable Minister, the newly appointed Minister, Honorable Pablo Opare, an amazing young man whom I believe is going to change the face of the youth in this country. And of course, NYA, YEA. But there are some individuals that have really come on board. There is this one woman called Miss Fafapodo, has been an instrumental figure. Delphina has been an instrumental figure. And KGL, the man that owns KGL
Engineering.
Yes, engineer has been. So there are a lot of people that have helped, but I'll just keep these names for now. And whoever that has contributed, some might not give money, but they might just share the flyer. You are doing your quota. And of course, to YFM, thank you so much.
Yours truly, YFM.
Thank
We
you.
support.
Thank
We're always
you.
a part of this. Pastor, wish you the very best.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to a great show this year.
Yeah.
Last year was beyond expectation. I really don't know what to expect this year, but we just show up
Yeah.
and support. Our platform is for the young and the young at heart.
Yep.
And we believe by changing the mindsets of the young people, we change the future. Okay. I read last week somewhere that the resources, no, I think this is from Professor Douglas Boateng, says we are sitting on so many sources of resources, okay? And the change in making Africa and our continent and our country a great one is not within the resources we have, but changing the minds of the people who own the resources. And people like you are channeling your energy to ensure that we change our mindset so that we'll be able to transform these resources into something beneficial for our continent and the country. So we say thank you on behalf of YFM, all the youth, young people, Dawasipi, and we look forward to a wonderful show this year. Final words, anything you'd like to add? People who are still indecisive whether they should come or not. Final word to them.
If you're listening to me, please just show up. This year you can't miss it. If you look at the lineup of speakers, your life will never be the same. Listen, whether you're Muslim, you're Hindu, just show up. It's going to be a great time. And I want to ask my wonderful host, what day are you coming?
I will show up on the Thursday and the Friday.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll show up on the Thursday and the Friday. I already sought permission. Delphine, this is also Delphine, my producer.
Okay.
My producer will do the show for me so that I can show up. And my team and I have a team. We'll come for the all night as well. And so you see us. We're in traffic. The cassie, but we pull up.
I feel you.
We're seeing front row, no? So
I feel you.
Yeah, your arrangements. My Pastor, thank you so much. God bless you.
Very, very welcome.
Thank you for spending time with us. I know next year you show up as well.
And I want to say there'll be free buses also.
Okay.
Free buses. So wherever you are coming from, just show up. We will get you back home safely.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So that's Pastor Brian Amoateng. He's a great man of God. IES conference scheduled for 12th to the 14th of March at the UPSA Auditorium. YFM is a proud media partner of this project. Please come through. Speakers for the 3-day activity, Dr. Franco Usu, Fuswapi, I beg your pardon. Apostle Joshua Selman will be a speaker on one of the days. On Friday, the National Youth All Night, he'll be ministering as well. Dr. Michael Buedinya Meche will be showing up. Maker's House. Prophet Gideon Danso will be present at the event speaking. Dr. Joseph Siawa Japan will also be speaking. Dr. Kojo Bempa. Daniel Amoateng, Prophet Daniel Amoateng will also be a part of the speakers. Abna Brigidi, C of Nimet Capital will also be there. Dr. Beatrice Jones Mensah Tayu is also going to be a part of the event, and Dr. Edward Omane Buama will be a speaker as well. If you need more information, if you want to make sure you make arrangements for your group, your school, team or corporate guys, call 0244 946 023 or 0592 001020. We'll be streamed live on Pastor Brian Amoateng on Facebook, YouTube, Brian Amoateng. A big thank you to all the supporters and brands that are making this possible. 38 past 10, this is Y 107.9 FM.